Good Sunday night. I am Thabo. Really good to be with you as we start the week here on In Focus. Let's begin here now. AmaZulu King MisuZulu kaZwelithini's office has refuted claims that the monarch is in hospital in neighboring Eswatini amid poisoning claims. It follows a statement issued by the AmaZulu traditional Prime Minister, Mangosuthu Buthelezi. The prince attributes the information to Prince Vumile, who's the brother to King Mswati III. Prince Africa Zulu, who speaks for King MisuZulu, says there is nothing wrong with the monarch, claiming he was never hospitalized. He insists, though, that the king only went for a routine medical checkup. Zulu says they view the hospitalization claim as an attempt to create doubt of the king's fitness to hold office and cause instability in the kingdom. Prince Zulu joins us now for an update. Ndabezitha, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. You had to issue a statement to clear what you call claims that are aimed at creating instability in the Zulu kingdom. Where do you think these claims would have emanated from?
Oh, thank you very much, Unpeg. No, I think it was just your usual panic. It all came from the reports when Induna Silukaba was reported having passed away at the hospital in Richards Bay. I think then maybe people, when they heard that the king was with Swaziland, so they started putting together their own stories. In this case, actually, they started adding and putting a lot of things, because what has happened right now is that we are still waiting for the report of the postmortem so that we can fully determine what is the diagnosis, what is the real diagnosis, what is the real cause for Induna to pass away so sudden. And because he was still not that old, he was still in his, I think, late 40s,
yeah,
or early 50s.
So, Ndabezitha, from where you're sitting, you're saying the passing away of Induna has not been linked to poisoning as far as you know, as the Zulu royal family at this point?
It will be premature to really already jump to that, because we must wait for facts, and this country works with facts, and we have to wait for science, to take its course, and they must determine fully and come back and give us a good report, and that we are able to then draw conclusion and be able to understand what really had transpired. But as things stand, it is very hard to just wake up and declare poisons and all these things. Things can't work like that. Everything has to be backed by evidence.
Yeah. However, the passing of Induna was reason enough for His Majesty to want to go and have some routine checks done, at least according to your statement.
Yes, let me tell you why. We're living in the days in the era and the age of pandemics, because you still get a few people talking about the fact that COVID is still not left us. So it's COVID. It could be. We're not even ruling out even the poisoning, but we just have to work with facts. The office of His Majesty and His Majesty himself, works with facts. We cannot really rely on speculation. Otherwise, we're going to create a lot of instability for this, not only for the Zulu but for the entire country.
Yeah.
Which on the sustenance, on the stability, we take time to digest information. We don't just jump to announce. Because if you're announcing that the king could be poisoned, you're already announcing that without any facts. That's very misleading, and it's very sensitive, and it's very dangerous for the stability of the Zulu nation. which we all rely on to keep this economy and this country running.
Yeah. So, but let's get clarity then, Dabezit, at this particular point where the test done, and I suppose what is key is, was the king at any point inside a hospital admitted, even when they were conducting those tests? Dabezit,
okay, may you come again?
I hope you got the question. I'm saying, was the
May you come again?
All right, I'm saying you're talking of the tests that were going to be done in light of the pandemics. I'm saying, was the king at any point in the process of the taking of those tests admitted inside a hospital in Eswatini?
The timing of this thing happening, it happened when you do his checkups, just, because the king doesn't operate like ordinary people. So, he sells this thing in place. So that's the timing of this whole thing that it happened. So he was going to go to Swaziland anyway, but it's just that we had to make sure that he prioritizes this medical checkup to make sure, because now already, because we also were receiving these rumors, people trying to talk or asking if it's not, because the way that Baba passed away, I guess it was so sudden. Even the king himself was a bit uncomfortable and shocked about how Baba just suddenly don't come back from the hospital.
Right. That was it. I appreciate your time. Let's leave it there for tonight. Prince Zulu there joining us on the update then on the health of His Majesty the King MisuZulu.